Hello, everyone. This will be my second time recording this. I didn't hit the record button last time, so, what can I say? So I want to welcome everybody to Grandma Nana Stitches. My name is Linda, and I live up in central New York, where it is 14 degrees this morning and sun shining, though, which we haven't had much of. A little bit of snow covering the ground and on the pine trees, which is beautiful, but it's not a day I'm going to venture out. I took the garbage out to the curb this morning, and that was about all I wanted to go, including Felicia. She does not like the snow on her feet. So, that being said, she still has to go out and go to the bathroom, so I shoveled a spot for her. Today is Wednesday, February 1st, and it's now about 11 o'clock. And I want to take this time to shout out to everybody that commented, subscribed. I can't thank you enough. It filled my heart with so much love and kindness that I was overwhelmed. I've been reading through the comments. I've been trying to respond to them all. I may have about half of them done and hope to finish the rest this afternoon. But it was absolutely amazing to me that I have almost 2,000 subscribers. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just what I needed, and a community that is safe to be in. And just such a loving community as the Floss Tube community is. I'm a little off my game because I did this once and now. So I have a couple of questions. The first one, they wanted to know what color I was using for the flowers in his eye on a sparrow. So this is his eye. I have not worked on this. I am going to be putting this on a scroll frame and putting it on my lap stand so that I can stitch on it at night. This is 18 count. So whether my eyes are good or bad, I can usually see this at night to stitch on. So today it's going on the scroll frame, and we'll see how that works. And the color is, I used all the call for colors unless I didn't have them, and then I went to DMC. It's hard to tell. These two colors are so close, but I believe that it is 351, DMC 351. So please contact me if you have any other questions about that. The other question I had was what yarn was I using for my rainbow quilt. It is it's a Lion brand yarn, and it's called Ice Cream. It's a cotton blend, and this particular color is Grape Raisin. So if you would like, I can put all of the colors and the names of the colors in the show notes. Just writing it down so I don't forget. I'd like to show you the Afghan, but as I told you before, the dog has taken it off, and she's had a rough few days. We did take her back to the vets, and or I took her back to the vets, and we gave I gave her a medicated shampoo bath where you have to leave it on for 10 minutes. So here I am in the kitchen with the timer on, and she's in my sink, and I'm talking to her and rubbing her, trying to keep her calm for 10 minutes in the sink, soaking wet. Interesting experience, but she was really pretty good. So, and that helped immensely. She is so much better. She's sleeping better. So she's still licking a little, but it's time for another bath today, so that should take care of that. Yeah, so the comments, I just couldn't believe that all the comments, and I had a couple respond to my pandemic and what they thought I should do, and what they both thought was exactly what I thought initially, and that's to sew a piece across the bottom by hand. And I happened to have the piece that I cut off the fabric, which I should never have done. But anyway, I'm going to just overlap them and sew them back on, matching the squares by hand. I don't want to do a machine stitch because I don't want to make it bulk up any. So I'm just going to stitch it by hand and tack it kind of across. And then when I come down to that area to stitch it, which I'm almost there, come down to that area to stitch, I will stitch carefully and make sure that my stitches go over and try to keep the bulk from showing from that overlap. And if it does show, it's better than not having it at all. So this way I'll be able to finish it. And once I get past that small area, I'll be able to stitch easier on it again. So it's all worth it. It'll be all worth it. And I wanted to clarify, I always draw a complete blank on that silk that I'm using on that. And it's called Oxide, and it's by Mrs. Sada's Silks. That came out right around the same time that Long Dog released Pandemic for free that week. And I knew immediately that when I saw Pandemic and I saw that silk, that was what I wanted. I'm always looking for something unusual to stitch with. I love colors, and you'll see that on this Elephants on Parade, that I made quite a few changes on it. I'm just getting comfortable doing that. I'm not good with color. At least that's what I tell my daughter. She says that's not true, but it seems that way. And so the name of that was Oxide. I knew immediately. I stitch differently than my niece does, who is now currently trying to finish her Pandemic, and she's using the same floss or the same silk, and hers looks entirely different than mine. So the way you stitch with it makes it look different. And with that Long Dog, the whole pattern seems to grow, and the excitement about seeing what comes up next, because you're looking at pixels on a screen, because I use Pattern Keeper, and it's hard to decipher that this is a bird or this is a flower, or that this is going to be a diagonal, until you get more of it done and you're actually looking at what you have in front of you, and in a big picture kind of way. So for me, the excitement of the pandemic and things like that is to see them grow. And I just love his one out about It's a New World, or whatever that one is called. She has out, I should say. I think I'm probably going to get that and stitch that, and that'll be the same way with all the orbs and stuff in there. That'll be just really exciting. And I like stitching monochromatic, so I'm going to have to look at that and see if it's something that I can stitch monochromatically, or if I need to use different colors. I think it'll be all right monochromatically, but you never know. yeah, so that was all that was from the show, from the comments, other than, oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you about is that somebody reached out to me from my area about a stitching group, which meets the first Thursday of every month, which will be tomorrow. And they meet at a town hall that's about 4 miles, if that far, from me. I can't wait to go tomorrow. I think that's going to be really fun to meet the people that around me. I've been here 2 years, but I really don't know many people because I don't really get out much. And now that I'm on an immune suppressant medication, I have to mask up when I go out, so I don't always go. I have groceries delivered. I pick up orders usually at Walgreens, the pharmacy, and yeah, I don't very often go into stores. So it saves me a lot of money, but I still hit Amazon pretty hard sometimes. All right, on to whips. So this is Elephants on Parade. I did not get it done by the end of the month. I tried, but I did not make it. So I've been working on this elephant. Between the fleck on the floss and my eyes not being the best this past week, I've had trouble and it slowed me down. But I love the way it looks. I wish now I had done something different here. This is floss that I got at Stitch North, I believe. Oh, I don't have it here. Trying to remember the name. Hold, please. I'll go get it. I'm coming. It's a small tire. Brim and Nettle. Brimnedle. And the one that I used for that is this one. I've never seen floss like this until I saw her table. That is just absolutely beautiful. And then I wish now that I had stitched the one of the elephants in this. It would have been a lighter gray, but it's got a fleck of color through it, so it would have been interesting, I think. So it's Brim and Needle. The rest are all DMCs. And yeah, this is a pretty one too, although I don't think I've used this one on this. I bought all these flosses while I was there because I knew I was going to be working on the elephants, and I did use this one on there though. This is so pretty. So her variegation was so different than I had seen before. So anyway, that's what I have done. I have to finish this right here, and then I have a couple of little things right here. These two flowers are repeated over here that I haven't done yet, and then the name goes down here, the birth date and pounds, how much she weighed goes in this long flag here. So I'm still charting that, so I'm hoping to get it charted tonight so I can take it with me to the tomorrow and stitch the name across the bottom. So I'm really pleased with how that's been coming out. This is on a 32 count cashel linen. I'm not sure what the name of it was. It has, it doesn't look it on camera, but it has a little pink hue to it. So I'm loving this fabric, and I have a little bit of it left. I might use it for one of my upcoming starts. The next one, I worked on the fox. And this is on .32 count Timberwolf by Seraphim Fabrics. Oh, for Pete's sakes. The fox. .32 count seems to be my jam. I didn't work on it much, but I think next time I gotta move my ring light so it's better lighting. But yeah, I worked in here, got a few stitches in. My daughter, she's Mimi Stitches here on Floss Tube, is working on these with Gail of Gail's Golden Needles. They work every Sunday. They've gotten three done. They're working on their fourth, and it is the bear that they're starting. They started last Sunday. I'm going to get this going and start stitching it this Sunday with them, just so I'm up to their rotation. I'm hoping that it'll give me a little incentive to do more stitching on Sundays. So that's in my plans anyway. Okay, and then the last thing I worked on was my birthday gift by my daughter. It's called Bury Me by Lindy Stitches. Bury me with my needle. So, and this is done on, it looks like an 18 count. Not quite sure about that. Could be an 18 count. That's as far as I've gotten. And this is stitched on, I'll just start getting this in order the way it should be. Jack Rum's Linen by Fabrics by Stephanie. And it's stitched with Dinky Dyes and DMC. So right now the wording is coming along. I have a little bit more black to do over here, and then I start down here. So this is another start, although because the fabric is darker, I need good light to be able to stitch on that, which I do have out in the living room, but yeah, it's good light is the issue, is good. So I have one new start planned for sure. This is a Valentine's that I found in my stash, I was looking for, I have a binder that I had put a bunch of patterns in. And since then, I've changed how I store them. So I went to get all the stuff out of that binder, and this little heart and hand print was in there. I love you more. It's got the little beads that came with it. And it's stitched, I'm going to stitch it on 30 or 28 count to bloom by Picture This Plus. It'll either be this or it'll be a white. I'm not sure I like the way the floss is popped on this. And I was too lazy to go in my box and dig out a white. So that's something I'm probably going to do, because there's also another one that I printed off from Hands On Design, her freebie that she has every year for their anniversary. So I would like to do both of these, and so I might dig out a white. I think a white might be more appropriate. For it. Save the doubloon for something else. So I got that going. One other thing I would love to get started is this one. It's by Needle House Press. Kathy there designed this, I don't know, a year or so ago. I purchased it a year ago Christmas. And I'd like to get it done, although it's a big one. It's 355 by 168. But I have some maroon silk that I purchased that I think would be absolutely beautiful to stitch it monochromatically. This one is stitched in Gentle Arts Mulberry, equivalent to DMC 221. So if I have a piece of fabric big enough, oh, I should have, then I think I will be starting this Valentine's Day. And then put it in my rotation for my big pieces. I'll probably also put this on a scroll frame so I can just swap it out from His Eye on a Sparrow. So, my other big project, not a big project, but I mentioned last time, or one of the times, that I really wanted to make some more project bags. I mean, I buy them too, but I can make them, so why not? And I have two new patterns. First of all, I have this one. These are portfolios. And this one here is a little bit different. It's just a little different. It doesn't have all the pockets on the side. So I'm going to try both of these. I did pick up some fabric at Joann's. I had to go to Joann's to pick up some DMC the other day. Usually I go to Hobby House, but I didn't want to do that because I spend too much money. So they had this 50% off. It's Halloween. It's a 2-yard piece, and it was $9.97, so it's 50% off of that. And I have a bunch of Halloween fabric to make Halloween bags, and I thought this would be pretty to either put on the outside or maybe even the inside. Depends on how the portfolios go together. And then I found this one. This is a directional fabric, so I have to make sure I keep the llamas right side up. So that's a fun fabric. And then I just picked up some that I really liked. I don't know. This I don't know. I probably have something that'll go with that, but. And then I picked up, I love dragonflies. So I picked this up. It'd be good either inside or outside of a bag. So I'm looking forward to trying that new pattern. I also have a pattern that I found. The floss is in here. I don't have the fabric in here, but it's by My Big Toe, and it's Time to Stitch, a serenity-ish prayer. And it says, God grant me the ability to stitch the stash I have, to have the stash I want, and the time to stitch it all. So I thought that would be fun to start at some point. Pretty simple, 2 borders and the letters. So that ought to be good. I have a daughter visiting from Tacoma, Washington. Excuse me just a minute. From Tacoma, Washington, and she wants to learn to knit a sweater maybe, or hats or something. But she has not knitted much at all, so I told her the best way to start is to stitch something small that knit and purls, increases and decreases. So you get a handle on those. That's all you need to stitch socks. So I found a pattern for garter stitch dishcloth, which is no purling, but it'll give her the knitting. And she can do she can knit 1 row and purl another. If she wants, make it stockinette stitch. But that's the picture. This is a free pattern. Crazy Sock Lady is, I love to watch her. She's very upbeat. She's prolifically producing socks. I wish I could knit socks like she does. I am trying to learn. I have knitted, I showed you the pair that I made for my granddaughter and then stopped before the heel was done on the second one. Well, she had a birthday the 29th, and we had dinner at my daughter's house, and I took that over and I gave her 1 sock, the one that was completed, and I said I'm working on the other, and so that was a big laugh because they were supposed to be for her birthday before my husband passed, so probably at least 6 years ago. And so I've been working on those. It was a little hard to pick up, having not worked on them for all that time, and that was the only pair of socks I've ever done. So I only did 1 heel, and I had no recall about how I was supposed to be doing this. So my daughter knits socks, and I said to her, can you help me understand this? And she said, yeah, you're doing the gusset, the heel gusset. And I said, oh, okay, then that makes sense. So, you know, you got to have resources. You got to have resources. But I was at, I believe, Joann's or Michael's, I can't remember, just for something to do one day. The dog loves to shop. So I usually make my errands to places that I can take her in with me. All in one day, so that we do a day of shopping together. And she just is so funny. She just watches everything, watches people, just loves it. She loves to shop. So we were looking around, something to do one day, and I found this yarn. This yarn is a cotton yarn, but it has little scrubber things in it too. So if you make a dishcloth, it's going to have a little bit more texture to it to clean. So this is the This is going to be the yarn I use when I teach my daughter. Not for her, she's already bought hers, but I want to make some. And the blue, it didn't have a lot of colors, I don't think, but this is a hefty, and it's called Scrub Off. This is 8.8 ounces, 250 grams. Do you know how many dishcloths I can get out of this? Oh my God. So that's my plan when she comes over next week. We're going to do dishcloths together. I just have to get my needles out. And because I organize so well, I can't find some of my needles. So why they're not all in the same place, I have no clue. No clue at all. So the only other thing that I have to show you is, those of you that are interested, those that aren't, I get it. I'm a quilter. I was a quilter before I was a cross stitcher. Well, before I came back to cross stitching. So I had made this table runner a while ago. It just needs the batting, the backing, and to be quilted. And I can quilt this on my domestic machine because it's just going to be straight line quilting. This one I quilted on a long arm, practicing, getting ready to do a quilt. And this is also a table runner. And the backing fabric is bees. So I just quilted this practicing on the long arm, and it's got all different designs on it. I was just getting the feel of what I wanted to do and knew it was for me, so it really didn't matter. That's the only way to get things done, is to practice. Practice, practice, practice. This one I had made for my oldest daughter a while ago. She was a beekeeper for a while, and I found this pattern and just absolutely fell in love with it. And the border is just beautiful. And this is my backing fabric, this sunflower. But it's applique. I had never done applique before, so I need to stitch down all the applique. And there's some embroidery that needs to be done around the bee here. So I'm going to get that done. Hopefully her birthday is March 8th. If she's watching, she's already seen this before, years ago. So if she's watching, I'm going to try to get it done. And I think that is all I have today, for the second time anyway. Watch for some project bags. They may be coming up on Instagram. I'm just learning to work with Instagram, so it's been a little bit of a learning curve for me. Again, I just can't thank everybody enough for the amazing comments that I had, how much they made my heart sing, the warmth, the love, absolutely amazing. And if I've missed your question, I'm still working on all of that, so I should have the questions or the comments all done today or tomorrow. So in the meantime, make plans, enjoy your life. I have a lot of good things coming up in my life, a lot of stitching retreats that I'm going to be attending. First one will be Steel City Stitchers, and that is in March, the end of March, I believe, middle to end of March. And then there's Stitch North that comes after that. And then, of course, StitchCon is in there too. I did not get into StitchCon yet. I was late to the game on that one. My daughter's going, and I'd really, really, really would like to go. But hopefully they'll get to me on the cancellation. It's not like I have a lot of plans that I would have to cancel if it was last minute. So I'm going to enjoy that. And then I mentioned Stitch North. And then the other one I have coming up is in September with Jacob, put on by Carolyn McNeil of Off the Grid Needle Arts and Evertote Bags, and Roxy Floss and all the good stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a friend I met at Stitch North last year. I went by myself, and on the Facebook group I put out that I needed a roommate, and she said she would like to roommate, so we did. We hit it off really well. She lives part-time in Portugal, part-time in Canada, and we roomed together, and we're going to be rooming it together again at Stitch North. Plus, I met so many wonderful people at StitchCon last year, and yeah, so I'm really looking forward to all of that. I mean, I'd love to travel. I'd love to go overseas again, but I'm not thinking that that's probably in my future, except that there is a stitch retreat in the Netherlands, and that's in October, I believe, September, October. But I just could not go this year, but maybe next year I will make plans for that. Yeah, so, there's always something. You can always adjust your sails and move in a different direction. I can't say that enough. We make plans, and my favorite phrase is that we make plans and God laughs at us. He has other plans for us, and that's been the way it goes. You make plans, and sometimes they work out, sometimes not so much. Sometimes they're not as enjoyable as you thought they were going to be, and other times they are. So life just gives you a lot of bumps and nudges along the way, and I think we need to go with the flow and do what's best for us and not worry so much about what's going on in the world right now. So keep your heads up, keep stitching, enjoy life, and be happy. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.